Oh boy, Soundcore just fixed what I didn't like about the Liberty 4 with the new Liberty 4 NC, and I think at the same time fixed Soundcore itself. Yes, Soundcore just fixed itself, and I'll explain why after these messages and after you click subscribe, of course. Plus, if you like a black copy of the Liberty 4 NC for your own, I'm giving one away thanks to Soundcore for this one. Check out the details in the description below. All the best. Anyways, let's do this. Specs-wise, the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC is as decked out as its pricier Liberty 4 stablemate. Think larger 11mm drivers per side. The Liberty 4 are 9mm versions. The latest Bluetooth 5.3 protocol with SBC, AAC, and LDAC high-res support, 3D surround audio, and all the tweaking parameters you can think of in arguably the best app in the personal audio business. By the way, the Liberty 4 NC is named as such because this is where Soundcore is clearly issuing the challenge to the likes of Sony, Apple, and Bose. The Chinese company claims that the Liberty 4 NC has the best noise cancellation, beating out the likes of QC2s, XM4s, and AirPod 2 Pros, with the ability to block out up to 98.5% of noise and over a wider spectrum. Bold claims indeed, and we'll talk more about that later. The Soundcore app bolsters the ANC prowess with something called Adaptive ANC 2.0, which proactively adapts the cancellation filter to each user, and each environment. The previous version basically applied preset filters, so it was a little more limited in that sense. Handling noise cancellation and phone calls are a total of 6 mics, by the way. In terms of battery life, I was netting around 7.4 hours of listening time at 65% volume with ANC on. Stacking the more battery draining LDAC on top of all of that dipped the listening time to about 5.2 hours. Very acceptable times in my book. The case has almost doubled the charge over the regular Liberty 4, but all of these runtime pros come in an overall larger footprint. The case, for example, is massive and bulky, eschewing the famous slider for a clamshell resembling the one on the Soundcore P10. Slider cases have pretty much become quite synonymous with Liberty earbuds, so it's sad to see it missing here. Other nice to haves are wireless charging, IPX4 dust water resistance, Google Fast Pair, multi-point wear detection, and fantastic build quality materials and color options. So how much for all of this, you may ask? 125, 170? Nope. How about 99 bucks? Yep, let that sink in for a second, guys. This is the first flagship from Soundcore under $100. I don't know about where you are, but here in Maine in the middle of summer, we're in the 50s. Yes, I'm wearing a sweater for crying out loud. But anyways, we're here for more important things. The Liberty 4 NC is doing its Bluetooth range test. A lot of you are probably anticipating this one, how they perform. I have Duran Duran, good old stuff, Ordinary World, playing on the OnePlus 11, patched through the earbuds, and I'm taking the Liberty 4s from the back of my house towards the side, and I have them on LDAC mode. So worst case scenario, where I'm standing right now, 25 feet, my guess is around here we're gonna have some kind of yep, there you go. Left, right went crazy a bit. It's just bouncing left and right. So I would say around 28, 29 feet is where its limits are for LDAC on. And my guess, once you have that off, oh, right side just went completely dark, went through pass-through mode, and I just got a tone. So there you go. So as I was saying, if you have it off LDAC, I think it would just run pretty far. I think around here, around 40 something feet, 50 feet before it gives up the ghost. You can see how these fit in my ears. They kind of protrude out a little bit further than before, but I think it's because of the innards and, as we saw earlier, the design of it. But it is very secure. You can say what you want. I'm back in range and it just resumed, reconnected. Left side never did disconnect, so that's something to note. But let me take this for a run. Super secure. Whew, that was soggy back there. I didn't want to just. Oh man. So these are secure. I wouldn't say you can run with these, jogging. I mean, I can feel the both sides starting to wiggle out after some time. But if you play around with the ear tips and such and the accessories, I think you might find one that you could possibly run with. But I am curious how these sound down by the roadside when there is traffic. So, and I'm gonna bring along the older Liberty 4 just for comparison. Starting with the regular Liberty 4, as traffic passes by, there's a lot of wind coming from that direction, and I'm facing it. Can you hear wind coming through the mics on the Action 3 here? Compared to the earbuds themselves, here comes some traffic, and you can see how these perform with noise cancellation. Some traffic coming up the street there as well. It's kind of cloudy today. It's gonna rain again, seems like. So sorry for any kind of exposure variances here, but you can hear how these sound and perform. Here comes another car. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna put on the Liberty 4 NCs now, and then you guys can hear for yourselves what the difference in quality is like. I can tell you for sure, I've tested this earlier, and I think it sounds a little bit warmer. Soundcore's phone calls, they're okay, not class leading, but tell me if I'm wrong. I think the NCs, even though they're cheaper, they sound a little bit more inviting when you're having a phone call. Right now you can just switch between the early recording and this one. You can see, and noise reduction also, it's a little bit improved. Even though it's off right now, I don't hear as much coming through the recording and the mics, so that's a good thing. Noise cancellation, definitely a little bit of a better kick or better lock off than before. And then one thing that both Liberty 4s don't do is when you have noise cancellation on, you get a phone call, it doesn't get into pass-through mode. Some of them do that as, like, I would say, a safety feature. But right here, if I get a phone call, I'm still like nullified from everything around me. So I can't hear, like, if I'm like in the middle of a heated conversation with my broker or something, walking through a parking lot, I wouldn't see some like errant teenage driver running through the parking lot and I would die. So there's that. So anyways, let's head back to the studio and talk more about these earbuds. Don't worry, I'll get to the sound quality in a quick second. But first, I need to praise the price. When I hinted earlier about Soundcore fixing itself, launching something as well sorted as this, as the Liberty 4 NC for under $100, needless to say, this reminds me of Soundcore when Soundcore used to do what Soundcore did best only just a few years ago. Remember those days? Like solid performing, well-made, feature-packed products for less than the big brands. And if you haven't noticed already, it's become quite impossible to find a near flagship or flagship Soundcore earbud for less than a Franklin nowadays from the Liberty 3, Liberty 4. And as a fan of their older products, I felt like I was being gypped and forgotten. So keep it up, Soundcore. I genuinely mean it. Keep it real, keep it affordable. Don't forget your roots. If you take a listen to the OG Liberty 4 and the Liberty 4 NC back to back, you'll notice, I definitely did, the default tuning on the new one sways towards more of a warmer, almost A40-like reference sound. And for many of us, that's a good thing. It hits a sweet spot that sounds inviting and playful. And I like earbuds that don't wear you down the longer you listen to them, and the NC is one of them. The bass is tight and composed, though I wouldn't say it's sub-bassy, so for those of you looking for that, you probably have to look elsewhere. The mid-upper mids are extended, and they blend right into the pretty clean highs. Just so we're on the same page, guys, the NC in Liberty 4 NC doesn't stand for No Chance or North Carolina Edition or No Charge. Well, except for the one that I'm giving away this video, check out the description below. If you haven't noticed already, noise cancellation is the central focus here. Besides sound quality, thank goodness. The noise cancellation is tight. I'll rank it maybe in the upper mid pack, better than even the Liberty 4 in some aspects. But I ain't gonna blow smoke up your butts about the advertised 98.5% reduction in external sound. It's not 98% reduction of all sound. Soundcore is clear about this too. It's up to 98% or about 50 decibels reduction within the 160 Hz spectrum, which is the higher end of the bass range. That's where it works best. On paper, the specs are impressive. The NC covers a wider range and stronger cancellation depth than even AirPod Pro 2s or QC2s from Bose. Now, at air terminals or public transport on planes, the Soundcores block out low rumbles like engine sounds and such, dull screaming babies, all without the usual hissing or sibilance that some find annoying. However, if you're solely shopping for earbuds for noise cancellation alone, don't be so hasty to hand over your cash just yet, because in real life, on planes, at restaurants, anywhere there's lots of conversations going on, I found that these NCs certain pitches of speech come through the earbuds pretty clearly, enough to almost sound like, pass-through mode is turned on, of some kind, like pass-through mode light. My theory is that since noise cancellation range drops off around 5000 Hz, and combined with how effective noise cancellation is to begin with, any audio outside of that range like shimmer, sibilance, and also brightness become more prominent. Yes, spatial audio is gone. Am I the only one excited about this? The bane of my experience with the Liberty 4 as well as with one more products that just came out. Yeah, I hated spatial audio on those things, and it just might be in this case a feature cut to differentiate the cheaper model with the more expensive model, and now it's replaced with a much simpler 3D surround on-off feature. But it could also simultaneously mean Soundcore is realizing that spatial audio is still too gimmicky and finicky to be on a mainstream product. As a man, I have dignity and I rarely ever beg. Oh please, Soundcore, please don't get rid of the best slider storage case ever. And I speak for millions of people out there. It's been the best thing since, fidget spinners. Taking it away would mean we die all unhappy deaths. And also, please don't forget to subscribe, guys. You won't regret subscribing to this channel because for one, you get award-winning videos like this, while secondly, because of its host. I hear he's a man of dignity. I have a hunch that Soundcore is breaking up its Liberty series into at least 3 models that live at different price levels. The Liberty 4 NC, for example, makes up the budget end, and then we got the regular Liberty 4 as the mid-priced, and then potentially later in the year a Liberty 4 Pro or Plus as their top-of-the-line model. If this theory holds any water, because, I'm a trustworthy source, I welcome this new diversity, especially a sub-$100 Liberty, which remember guys, is the flagship in Soundcore's lineup. That means there could be a flagship for almost everybody's budget. Think about that. The NC gives up some features over the regular Liberty 4 like spatial audio, really didn't need it, it's a gimmick. Health functions, didn't need it either, I have my watch and smartphone for that, and a slim sliding case. Okay, I really need that one, that's the best fidget ever. And of course, this NC itself checks off the right boxes in audio quality, comfort, noise cancellation. I personally can't wait for them to slap this tech into a headphone. The superior passive seal of headphones combined with the algorithm could be potentially amazing. And again, also that app, the Soundcore app, it's easily one of the best in the business. So with all that said, I'm giving the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC a GearUP score of 8.9 out of 10. And if you've been paying attention, that's a whole point higher than what I gave the Liberty 4. So if you have any questions about how I got to the final score, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget our little giveaway for a blank copy of the Liberty 4 NC. If you like one, check out the description below for the regulation, the rules, the fine print, everything that weeds out the strong from the weak. Yes. And again, I noticed that you watched this video from beginning to end and you didn't click subscribe yet. So click it, mash that button, show your support, like this video, comment nicely down below. And don't forget to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world right now or this week or this weekend, because guess what? The world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love you all very much. Peace out.